CV and 3. Proudly present 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the Southern Area Welterweight Championship. Welcome to you, the viewers, watching live and exclusively on Sky Sports Friday Fight Night. The officials have been appointed by the Southern Area Council of the British Boxing Board of Control. Area Representative Robert Smith, steward in charge Phil Lungam. And so, on to the boxers themselves. Introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black-coloured shorts trimmed with red. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stones, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. His record this evening reads 14 contests, 12 wins. 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. Tonight, he is the proud challenger, presenting from Crawley, Ross, the Boss Minter. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the gold-spangled shorts trimmed with silver. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stones, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. He has an excellent undefeated record, 12 contests, 12 wins. 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he makes the first defense of his title, presenting from Croydon, the Southern Area Welterweight Champion, the Bomb Symonds. Timekeeper at the bell, Nick White from Kingston upon Thames, and the referee is Lee Cook from Bedford. 10 rounds, championship boxing.
Another of the subplots here, Frank Maloney in Ross Minter's corner, Chas Symonds with Eugene Maloney as part of the camp, the two brothers at war for an hour or so.
Can you imagine the arguments in that house?
You know what I expect of you. I want a good clean contest. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
All set to go here. It might not be the neon lights of Las Vegas. The names may not be superstars. The money may not be big, but to these two fighters, this means the whole world. An atmospheric venue, and it's in these circumstances that you often get the very best fights. The glittered trunks of Chas Symonds, who'll look to make a fast start. He often does. Minter might be ready for that. You heard what Minter's trainer, Johnny Eames, said beforehand. If his man loses this, he's more or less going to quit training, because he says it means I don't know anything about boxing. He's that confident. Well, let's see. All good hype, isn't it?
Minter's ready to tuck up tight, not step back, use the jab, use the blocks, slip the shots, and Symonds is doing the obvious thing of just winging the punches in.
Just throwing a lot of leather, Symonds, missing quite a bit, it has to be said. Despite the pumped-up atmosphere, Johnny.
This is the sort of pressure Minter needs to be cool under. When Symonds is throwing these bombs left to right, over the top and underneath, he needs to stay cool, pop the jab out, block the shots and find an angle.
Minter will try to use his skills to win this fight. That's reckoned to be his advantage. Neither of these two really noted as big punchers. It's going to be intense.
Remembering how Symonds fights and how Minter fights, the win of this fight will be the one who uses the jab the best. And that, to me, says Minter. As long as Minter's fit enough to take the pressure and ride the storm, his jab will win him the fight all the way through.
So he's going to have to just mix in a good ration of skills here, even though it's a fiery old atmosphere. Might be the one who keeps his cool the best in what is a cauldron here, frankly, tonight. It really is.
Symonds just seemed too pumped up before the fight. There was more aggression than brain, more brawl than anything else.
One worry for Minter might be cuts. Cost him in the past, notably in his only defeat against Howard Clark in Portsmouth back in 2002. Both of them with things to prove. Symonds is 12-0 going into this. Hasn't fought anybody much though.
That's what makes it a good fight. Both of them think they can win, and that's why it'll be an even match fight, and it'll develop into a humdinger.
Both of them whipped themselves into great shape for this. More accuracy from Minter in this first round. It was a very pumped up Symonds, maybe a bit too pumped up, as Johnny was saying. Good opening round for Minter, for my money.
You may know Shikara, roughly translated, the power of dreams. You see, in Japanese, you don't say have a dream. You say see a dream. Because what's the point in having dreams if you're not going to make them happen?
Right over the top occasionally. Don't take no chance of me cutting around, all right? Every time you hit him, you heard him, he just put your hands up nice and high, yeah? And start singing that right hand into the body. Don't overreach, straight your feet into the jab, yeah?
Trainer Johnny Eames, and the guy training in the other corner, Tunde Ajayi, used to be with Johnny Eames, walked away and took Kevin Mitchell away from the gym, a hot prospect. There's a lot of feeling between the two camps mixed in with all of this, hence all the verbal crossfire.
That's right, but if you listen to both corners talking, in Minter's corner, it was nice, simple, and there was no technical buffoonery out of it. You just had to listen to what had to be said. Whereas in Symonds' corner, he threw everything at him. You want to do this, you don't want to panic. He just put him under pressure straight away.
Got him with the left hand there, then a right cross. Minter a bit disorientated for a moment there. Tries to meet fire with fire, gets him with a good right of his own, and a body punch. Look at this in the second round. Minter was caught by one, but look at the way he's coming back here, and he's got Symonds going. He really has. Symonds is hurt. Doesn't know where he is for a moment, I fancy Symonds. And Minter, can he have him here? Big shots raining in here. Symonds tries to fight back. Explosive stuff, and Symonds is down.
Up to that point, that was pride keeping Symonds up there. He refused to want to go down.
How badly hurt is he? He got up all right after the mandatory 8 count, but a crisis early on here for Chas Symonds.
Minter needs to keep the pressure on, but start to box him. Don't get dragged into war, because if he does that, he may get caught by a shot. But keep the pressure on. Use that jab with the right hand crosses. Pull him down and lean on him.
Looking way too wild. Symonds leaving himself open. He does tend to leave his chin in the air a little bit, and he's paying for it here. Quite cool, quite clinical. Ross Minter, oh, what a great uppercut! What a great right uppercut from Ross Minter. He's picking the punches beautifully here. A career best effort so far from Minter, and Symonds is fighting through a fog, but he's still in there somehow.
That's exactly the same thing Minter should have done. Picked his shot, bring him up, steady him up with the jab, and drop the right hand over the top, bully him out of the fight.
Fighting with his heart, came in really full of it, didn't he, tonight, Symonds? Not as confident now. He's got him with a couple of his own there. He needs something to make a dent in Minter.
This is the kind of fight you get when you've got two fighters in the ring that seriously believe they can win. Symonds refuses to go down because he can't believe Minter can possibly beat him.
Alan Minter is standing up at ringside. He's out of his seat. He's living every second of it as he watches his son here in his biggest fight to date for the Southern Area title. Now the right hand gets in from Minter there. Such bravery from Symonds, but he's wobbling around the ring on very unsteady legs.
You see, whenever they mix it up, now and again Minter gets caught coming in, but when he boxes him, steadying him up with the jab, Symonds doesn't know what to do. He's all over the place.
Good jab. Defence isn't good enough for Symonds. Minter's making him pay for that. Comes back brave from Chas Symonds, but he's in deep trouble in this fight.
Minter Symonds weathered the storm there. And Minter did the right thing. Once he got him going, he steadied him up, started to pick his shots and find the angles. You see, I mean, to set him up with the jab. Symonds got confident. He was hurt, but all the time he kept throwing the right hand over the top, and then Symonds walked straight into it. That's where the difference in class, the difference in the better fighter took over.
Tremendous assault it was by Minter, who'd been hurt himself, and that was his response. It was some response.
I mean, it's a bad mistake for Symonds. He walked in there and he got caught by a shot, and that's when Minter's boxing ability took over. He fought fire with fire.
Well, I tell you what, this is all going on amid bedlam here at the Elephant and Castle, and that is not an over-exaggeration, I can tell you.
Look how Minter uses the jab, and it jolts back the head of Symonds, and he's stiffening him up and giving him something to think about. Don't let Symonds get into the fight. Use the jab, drop the right hands over the top, and keep him thinking. Don't let him settle and get into a rhythm.
Minter has been improving steadily in the gym. He hasn't ripped up any trees early on in his career, I think it's fair to say, but he's super dedicated. He's got himself dead right for this one, and is this his night? Is this the night where he starts to make a bit of a splash in the business?
The coolest customer will win, and Minter is a cool customer in there right now, no matter what's happening.
Oh, lovely! Countering right hand! Right hand puts Symonds down for the second time in the fight. Gets up at 7, count goes on to 8. The legs are doing a dance, though, for Symonds.
Minter is planting his feet and planting his shots, and that's why every time he gets Symonds with a clean shot, it makes a difference. Symonds is using pure brute force to try and wear Minter down, and it's not working. He's not planting his feet and getting power in the shot.
He hasn't won it yet, Minter, but he'll feel that he should do. He might feel, and his father will feel there at ringside, that he's got it in the bag, but this might be the night that Ross Minter makes a name for himself, comes out of the shadow of his father, his illustrious father.
Minter doesn't want to make a mistake. Do what he's doing, be clever, be smart, don't get caught by a silly shot.
Well, it's a fight with plenty of drama already. Symonds now trying to box and get his gloves up a bit more.
Minter pops that jab out and fires that right hand. So accurate, so sharp and so fast.
Oh, now the big left hand from Minter. And again with a right hand and another left, and Symonds is down for the third time and in his corner. Career best win. Wonderful win for Ross Minter in round 3 after a grudge fight. And look at his dad. He knows the feeling. Look at that. Look at that scene.
The coolest customer won the fight. Minter was able to think clearly, be calm, be sharp about what he did. Symonds went in there with just pure brute force.
Every picture tells a story. Look, he did not feel as happy as that the night he beat Vito Antuofermo in Las Vegas, I'll bet you.
Makes a difference when it's your boy in there, though.
Oh, yeah. And they've been reunited, you know, through this sport of boxing. They've become a little bit estranged, as I understood it. Since Ross has been boxing and pro, they've been so close, and you saw it there. What a win.
Boxing brings the worst and the best out of people. Tonight we've seen the best of Ross Minter. He boxed clever, he boxed patient, and he boxed very mature.
Chas Symonds, I'm afraid, was way too open defensively. He came in a bit over-fired up and was blown apart, frankly, by Ross Minter.
The stuff Symonds was saying before the fight, you could see it was pride, you know, it was honour that was getting him to this fight. And no matter what, he didn't believe that Minter deserved to be in the ring with him, never mind box with the title.
Well, his boast about the Marvin Hagler fight, there was one thing that was the same. It was 3 rounds, but it was Minter winning here.
Minter did perfect, you know, set him up with the jab, fired that right hand out, and each time he fired it, his feet were planted, and he let it go with full force. And he managed to change the right hand from right hands to left hooks and double them up and confuse Symonds. So Symonds thought he could bully Minter out of the fight, and he didn't.
What a night for a young fighter who hasn't had many headlines or plaudits, Ross Minter, but has carried on working. There have been setbacks along the way. Not many people have really thought he was going anywhere in the business, but after this, he's going to have so much confidence. He's picked up the Southern Area Welterweight title, and it might be a stepping stone for something else for him.
What this has proved for Minter is that he's a thinking fighter. If he fights fighters like this every day of the week, he will beat them. So he's a thinking fighter. This was the wrong tactics for Symonds to choose for fighting Ross Minter.
Only the 5th time, by the way, in 15 fights that Ross Minter has scored an inside schedule win. He did it in 3 rounds. He had Symonds down 3 times in the fight. It was emphatic. It could not have been more emphatic.
Symonds gave it to him on the plate. If you're going to an opponent, the impact is twice as much, and that's why Ross Minter seems so strong with his shots.
Well, Ross is the boss tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes and 18 seconds of round number 3, referee Lee Cook has called a halt to the action. In his opinion, Chaz Symonds was unable to defend himself. Your winner, and the new Southern Area Welterweight champion from Crawley, Ross the Boss Minter. Your appreciation, please, for a fine ex-champion, Chaz Symonds. Steward in charge.
How good was that? Minter in the ring, old and new. Jimmy Tibbs back in the corner in a big fight. But most of all, you know, people have asked for years now, is there a real fighter in Ross Minter? And I think we've had our answer. What a tremendous battle that was, and more young prospects in action here at the Elephant and Castle, a cradle for the sport. At super featherweight, Kevin Mitchell.